What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, depending on what little corner of the internet you hang out in and for how long, you may think that everything is doom, gloom, and at the very end for Marvel Studios, especially on the side of their Disney Plus TV shows, where it's been said they haven't been received by the audience or critically the way they had hoped. They hadn't driven subscriptions to the Disney Plus platform the way they had hoped, and in some cases weren't worth the enormous budget, say for Secret Invasion, 6 episodes, $212 million. In fact, we've even heard since the Secret Invasion finale's gone live from trusted industry insider sources that they may be going away entirely from the 6-episode, $200 million model. Well, today, from one of our other sources, we're hearing huge news that at least one of the shows from Phase 4 is going to get its second season on Disney Plus, and that's She-Hulk. We're going to talk about where this is coming from, what projects that is intending to set up, why they would be bringing her back. It's a huge part of what's going on with the Avengers. We'll also talk a little bit about the white noise surrounding that series, and if Marvel does it right, they can look at what happened with it, learn from their mistakes, and make the second season even that much better. We're breaking it all down, the second season of She-Hulk, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner. Again, all you gotta do be a sub, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so breaking earlier today from everybody's favorite anonymous Twitter scoopster, My Time to Shine Hello, they indicated that She-Hulk Season 2 was a go for Disney Plus, or at least it was happening before the strike. Obviously, nothing is going on in Hollywood during the strike, so you can assume it's on hold as well and won't resume until the strikes are done, whenever that is, sometime in the near future. Now, my initial take on this is that I always assumed there was going to be a She-Hulk Season 2, A, because they hired Tatiana Maslany, not to imply that she's as big as, say, Oscar Isaac, who played Moon Knight, but she's definitely a bigger name actor that has a future in the MCU just beyond their own project. She-Hulk seemed like they were setting up for a Season 2, and only because of how much subtle world building they did. Of course, all of the groundwork was mostly laid for what's coming up in Captain America Brave New World with the Intelligentsia and the Leader. They also set all of the groundwork up for the rumored World War Hulk project that we still, fingers crossed, hope that we'll hear announced from Marvel at some point in the future, with having Mark Ruffalo's Hulk go off-world back to Sakaar and then return with Scar. Now, speaking of which, Scar suffered the exact same fate as a lot of other characters we were introduced to in Marvel Phase 4 who showed up right at the end of a movie or TV show or in the post-credit scene with no immediate indication of where they're ever going to show up again or where their story goes. That being said, I heavily expect She-Hulk Season 2 to have this as part of the core element of the storyline. That's where the storyline started, and there's not another place for it really to happen between now and when the multiverse saga is peaking or headed into its conclusion. We do sort of expect to see Bruce Banner enduring Brave New World. I mean, everybody else from that first Hulk film is coming back. You would assume only naturally he's going to show up, but that's not going to be the place where they can explain what's going on with Scar and what's really happening with Bruce Banner. And it could be the case that they use a World War Hulk project to show that entire decline, but there is still plenty of story to tell. This would be the place for it. So if anything, my second reaction to this, after just assuming there was always going to be a second season, is I'm getting a little more excited now, because this is one of the places that they can focus on Bruce Banner again. We may see him in some places in the MCU, say a cameo in a third act action sequence against Red Hulk, or maybe even in Deadpool 3 and Wolverine, where an alternate version of him, while he's still Savage, can fight Wolverine. That would be amazing, but still, none of this is going to focus on Scar. Expect that to be in She-Hulk Season 2, whatever's going on with Bruce Banner's character to lead to World War Hulk. Now, the second part of this, and the main reason you do a She-Hulk Season 2, is to show her road now from just She-Hulk all the way into the new Avengers team, which was always going to be the case. They've said this in previous quotes, sort of cryptically, but not so cryptically, that she'll be alongside Sam Wilson's Captain America, Captain Marvel, etc. That was always the goal for She-Hulk in the future of the MCU, is the new Avengers squad. That said, this show should focus on that, and this sort of harkens back to some recent quotes we've covered twice at the channel from Disney CEO Bob Iger, who said, if you looked to what we did correctly with Marvel in the past, there's nothing off of the Marvel brand, but we focused on the Avengers, and we're going to get back to that. That should be the main goal of Season 2, is to show her maturation from She-Hulk and what's going on with her into a role on the new Avengers squad, and that'll happen simultaneously with the other projects that they've got around it. I'm expecting this show to be in that next round of slate announcements from Marvel, whenever that is. They may be a year or two off actually filming it, but I definitely assume it'll be amongst the titles, and we'll do a video here at the channel talking about what that's going to look like here and pretty soon. Now, what I will say is that this is not an auto W, because She-Hulk did have some fair and unfair white noise. The unfair white noise surrounding the show, well, I talk about that at the channel all the time. People are going to be people. You don't have to have a reason not to like something, but if the whole center of your discourse is always surrounding this one thing you don't like, and you have to aggressively not like it so much that, again, it becomes your whole personality, I would just say, hey, maybe find something you like, talk about that, and be positive, don't be negative. But again, this is YouTube. That's going to happen. The fair white noise, though, surrounding some of the bad CGI, some of the middle episodes being poorly written, or rather dragging the show out, the same thing that's plagued a lot of the other Disney Plus series with pacing. Look, I saw the pre-screener for She-Hulk. It was the first 4 episodes all up front, and watching them back to back to back to back, you could obviously forgive some of the things that were going on with the CGI. The pacing was not bad, but when they dragged those first 4 episodes out over a month, then got into the slog in the middle part, well, it's just happened too often where maybe some of the episodes in the middle, as you're waiting around for the finale, don't do anything, and then the finale rushes through. And for that finale, I don't think a lot of people were expecting. Certain Marvel fans were just wanting Red Hulk or wanting a great, a villain to show up, and then it was this meta commentary on what the MCU has become anyway, which for some people is fine. Some people I know absolutely loved that. It was on brand for She-Hulk. They were actually expecting something like that the whole time. I'm not saying this is an auto win for Marvel, but I do think there are some things that they can learn from the original series. Hopefully improve the CGI, and if Bob Iger is true to his word about acting on a directive of focusing on the Avengers, making the series have a lot more stakes for what's going on with that character as it leads up to the team. So not only are there consequences for the series, but there's a reason for the show. There's an actual something that's happening. Now, cameos are great. I definitely want Daredevil back, and I'd actually be really surprised with 18 episodes if we don't see Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk show up at some point during the Daredevil series. That hasn't been confirmed just yet, but by all indications, it seems like the place for it. The way that they really win, though, is they don't try to make it a law show and not have any law writers. If they're doing right by the upcoming Daredevil series, which has been said to focus on the courtroom quite a bit, that will absolutely expose how poorly She-Hulk was written as a law show, and the writers even admitted that none of them had any experience writing for law, courtrooms, or court scenes. Just don't make it about being a court show. Leave that out of it. There's plenty of cool She-Hulk stuff that you can do. Guys, I have been the same way with my fandom since day one. I biasly love everything because I'm a Marvel fan. I did enjoy She-Hulk. I did not think it was the worst offering on Disney Plus by Marvel by far. But also, just in the strictest sense of the word for criticism, meaning to critique something, and in the literary sense, I also think the writing has had a lot of problems, and they are also missing why and how we root for superheroes, something they were absolutely nailing during the Infinity Saga, something we're also poignantly reminded by the Spider-Verse movies of why we like this stuff so much in the first place. They've just got to get their way back to that. Hopefully, Kevin Feige and Bob Iger have a plan to do so, and now with She-Hulk Season 2, they can make a better run of it. But guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, reaction to all this news, hype for World War Hulk, all of it. I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. We've got 3 to go before the end of the year. We're also going to be doing some comic giveaways during Loki season in just a month and a half. So if you want to be entered to win, all you got to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice in the comments shown on screen. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at @I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, with the original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.